On a previous episode of Psychic Garage, I showed you the 1954 Meteor that I picked up from the original owner's family. It had been parked since 1966 in garages and sheds over the years. I'd always wanted an old Ford with a Flathead V8, and I got it. Once I got it home, I looked it over. It had such a cool looking interior. I was so pleased. I liked that it was an Alberta car and local to the area. So I began working on it. Well, I started working on this. I pulled the spark plugs out and I sprayed some PB blaster down each one of them. Now, I will say this. The inside of the cylinders, I mean, I can't really see in there because on a flathead, the spark plugs are right over the valves. So I'm just seeing the valves. They look mint, like clean, shiny metal. No corrosion, nothing like that. I'm surprised by that. That's a good thing. I mean, I can't see down into the cylinder. Maybe that looks worse, but this does tell me that and also the condition of the spark plugs are impeccable, that there weren't a lot of miles on them. And so far, I can tell none of the cylinders were burning oil. It was burning perfectly clean. So now I'm working on this side, and I'm gonna do these last 3 plugs. I'm just spraying some of this in there. I mean, you could use WD-40, you could use a lot of things. Diesel. A lot of people will use kerosene, or they'll mix transmission fluid with acetone. I've done those before. But this engine is in such great shape inside. I'm not too worried. It is stuck, like I can't turn it with the fan belt. But I'm gonna let this stuff soak at least for a few hours, and then I'll put a wrench or a ratchet on the crank pulley and see if I can turn it over. And this spark plug wrench was my grandfather's. So it's pretty old. And it's probably pulled spark plugs on an engine like this, I wouldn't be surprised. So this one has a little bit of carbon, but not bad. Spray this stuff in there. Before I do that, I'll get a flashlight and look. Yeah, it still looks pretty clean. Hardly any carbon in there either. Let's put this over here. Okay. Spray that. I've heard of guys using Coca-Cola down the spark plug holes. Vinegar. I haven't tried that stuff. Oh, this one will be really difficult. This heater hose is in the way. Oh, I got it on there. There. Okay. Do the rest by hand. Yep. Notice I'm putting the spark plugs onto the spark plug wire, whoops, that it was connected to, just so I don't get them mixed up. Retrieving this spark plug, I noticed that the drain plug on the engine is the biggest bolt I've ever seen on a drain plug. It's more than an inch in size. Okay. Crack that one loose. This one looks a little rusty-ish. Let's look down there. Oh, it still looks super clean in there. Amazing. I dropped my straw. It's probably on the ground. I won't bore you guys with this stuff. Let's have a look in the distributor cap here. If I can pop it open. Okay. Let's pull this wire off. Twist and pull. The cap's not great, but the points look... I'll get a new set of points for this. And a cap and rotor, what the heck, you know. And I wonder if the advance works. Not hard to say. Huh. Well, serviceable anyways. I think the next thing I'm going to do is try and turn the water pumps. One has green paint on it, probably original. This one here, that's the water pump pulley right there. That water pump might be original, it's still green. And then this one here is not green. I'm going to see if I can turn those somehow. And here's the oil. I mean, it's dark, but it's dripping, which is good. I've had other engines apart that sat for years where the oil turned to jello, and if I would have started up the engine, it would have ruined it. So I have hope that this is clean oil. And I won't have to pull the oil pan off or clean anything to get it started. I'm sure this is going to work. Oh! I got it! Okay, no problem there. I'll try the other side. Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh, okay, these pumps are not seized. Good stuff. Maybe I'll fill the radiator with antifreeze. Anything. Even water. Check this out. I just opened this and antifreeze came out. That's excellent. That's what you want. If rusty water comes out, not good. But antifreeze, that's great. So there is some antifreeze in this block. And it didn't freeze and crack the block, so excellent. Well, it took probably 10 liters of water and antifreeze, which is like 2.5 gallons. But I know why, because the water pumps are leaking. They are dripping. I don't know if we can see that. I know this water pump was dripping. Don't see it now, but it was dripping. This one, not as much, but we'll keep tinkering. I'm gonna let those spark plugs, or I'm gonna let those cylinders soak a bit more before I start trying to turn the motor over. I'm gonna try loosening up the motor. What I'm gonna do is put it in gear, physically push the car myself and see if it turns over. I'm going to set up the camera so hopefully you guys can see if it moves. Knock on wood. So hopefully we see that fan blade turn just a bit. Let's give this a push. The car's heavy. Oh! Okay! Look at that! Motor is not locked up. Now that water pump's leaking. See some dripping down there between those two hoses. There. Not stuck. Let me think about this some more. Okay. Time to put a socket on it and turn it. Oh, that's hard. Let's turn it backwards. Well, I can turn it backwards. Okay. Let's go forwards again. Come on. Move that out of my way. Oh boy. Getting tougher to turn. Don't want to force it too much. It's easier from here. That water pump's leaking like crazy. Both of them are. Well, it's done almost a full revolution here. There, it's done a full revolution. I am really tempted to put a battery in it and just spin it over. I can hotwire it without the key. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, I got my handy remote start button. Battery's hooked up. I haven't pushed this yet. I'm gonna try it right now and see what happens. Oh, starter works. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna check for oil pressure inside. I do have some oil pressure, a tiny little bit. I think I'm going to do a compression test next. This is fantastic. Love this. Now it sounded funny because none of the spark plugs are in the engine, so it's spinning over very freely. Very cool. Let's try it one more time. It's not a ton of oil pressure, but it's something. Amazing. Okay, let's try this one. 70. Let's go to the next one. Again, I'm not sure what the compression should be. I've hardly researched this for this engine at all. Try it again. Okay, that one I got nothing, so I definitely have a stuck valve. This one next. 60. Let's go to this far one here. Another one. So these two stuck valves. Off camera, I did a compression test on the other 4 cylinders on the passenger side, and one of those had 0 compression. So another one with either 1 or 2 stuck valves in it. But once you can get an engine running in the other cylinders, that problem usually goes away. More goose juice. Why not, eh? Next, we're gonna check for spark. I'm gonna hot wire the ignition coil, and you should see a spark right here. Let's try it. Let's try this. Oh yeah! I could barely see a spark. Oh yeah, I see the spark. Some of the spark plugs are really arcing. Dang it, I think this thing's gonna run if we pour some fuel to it. I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I have primed the carburetor with fuel. Let's see what happens. Nothing. The accelerator pump works in the carburetor. Almost fired there. Huh. She's almost gonna start. I can just get it to turn over a bit faster. I may have had the distributor cap on really crooked. So let's try this again. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to check the points. I'm going to check for spark again. Where's my spark tester? Because it was a little weak last time. Nothing. I got no spark. Huh. It's probably those points. I need to change them. It's absolutely the points. They're actually kind of broken. There's a piece that's supposed to be screwed on. It's the tensioner for the points, and it came right off, which is really weird. So I'm going to take these points out. So being that today is Saturday, I got to wait till Monday till I can try this again. But I heard it sputter, and I know it's just a spark issue, so I think we're gonna get this thing running. Hey, I'm back. It's been a couple days. I've been doing a bit of cleanup on the Meteor, and I don't have a key for the trunk. So I'm gonna try and pick the lock. I've never done this before, other than last night. I picked the lock on the glove box, which within about 2 minutes, I was able to turn that lock. And, you know, again, don't go out and do this. Please don't break into my cars. But out of desperation, I have to get this lock mechanism out, and I want to see what's in the trunk here. So if I get this open, you folks will be the first to see what's in here. So I'm going to do what I did on the glove box and see what happens. I don't know which way the lock is supposed to turn either. I tried for a good 10 minutes straight trying to pick this lock, and no, I couldn't unlock it. And yes, I've seen Lockpicking Lawyer on YouTube, and he's really good, but I'm no lockpicker. Well, I'm going to admit defeat on this. I'm going to have to take out the back seat and get in through there, because I have to get a key cut for this. Well, we'll see what happens. Now, before I start digging into the trunk, I'll show you what I have been working on. I did try and get it started. You may have seen that already, but the driver's door would not open when I got this car. And you see all that stuff on the ground? Those are canola seeds, sand, and rust. And that was all inside the bottom of this door. This door is a complete write-off. None of the mechanisms work. I can't open the window. Everything is rusted like you would not believe. So I do have to get a new door, which is not too big of a deal. It is too bad that the door panel is ruined, because the rest of them are all savable. That one just needs a good steam clean. Hopefully I can get that stain out of the corner there. But I mean, look at the interior. The interior is impeccable. That seat is just amazing. But again, that's testament to keeping this vehicle in a garage. Now, let's open this up. Okay, I'm gonna get these hubcaps, this box out. I'm gonna try and get the seat out. We're gonna get into the trunk that way. Huh. Wow, that looks pretty good. No mice. I've chewed on this. Huh. Amazing. The floor is really nice. There is no rust, even in this corner. There's a little bit on this rocker panel cover. Amazing. I'm so impressed with this. Okay, this should lift. There's a hook there. There. Oh boy. I'm gonna damage stuff to get into that trunk. I don't want to do that. I can see a mouse got through here at one point, but I don't even see mouse evidence in this seat. A little bit. Dang it. I don't want to ruin this. So, unless, if this lifts, does it lift? No. Oh. Yep, I'm tearing it, but there's no other way to get this apart. Okay, that one's not torn. This one's not torn. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh. Now the mouse turds begin. Well, I got 2 spare tires and a big mouse nest. Yuck. Ugh. I'm going to vacuum this first. Wow. I'll show you what I got here. There's the trunk. There's the lock I'm trying to get at. I should be able to open that trunk by moving that lever. Actually, I won't have to crawl in here. I'll just use a broomstick. I'll try that. So we got 2 spare tires and the jack. That's all I can see so far. No other treasures. Okay, let me go get a broomstick. Okay, let's try this. Right. Oh, you gotta have the key there to turn that. Ah, I am gonna have to crawl in there. Well, I'm gonna vacuum this crap up first. And then I'll lay a carpet down in here so I don't have to lay on this stuff. This is disgusting. I will say this, the floor is so solid here. I mean, that's just surface rust right there. Amazing. Okay, I put in this carpet. I'm gonna go get a flashlight and I'll bring maybe a screwdriver or something. And maybe a pliers. I'm not sure how that mechanism works, so we'll see. I do see some bolts or some nut heads there. If I take those nuts off, I can probably get the lock assembly out. That might be a better idea. Here we go. Got some tools here. Let's see. Hold the camera a different way here. Okay. Okay, so that's what the lock moves, and then it moves against this. Ah! Look at this. Huh. Let's get out of here. Look at that. Oh. I can't believe I'm looking at an open trunk. Amazing. Let's see now. What do we got? Take my carpet out. Here's the stand for the jack. There's the other jack pieces there. Boy, people used to run their tires bald. I've seen that before. There's a block of wood here. What's this? Some parts for, I don't know what that is. What is that? These look like tractor parts. They're red color. From Chicago, Illinois. What does that say? National something. Can't read it. This is interesting. Darn, can't read anything in this box. Well, I'll put it aside here. The rest of the mystery items. That looks like a rim from the front. It's a nice white wall too. Huh. And this, oh, Mouse City. Oh, I see where the mice were getting in. There's a hole in the bottom of the, like there was a plug. It's not a rusted out hole, but that's how the mice were getting in. Jeez. Something to remember. So those are two, there's a nice Firestone white wall. Huh. There's a nut and a bolt. Well, no other treasures. Here's yuck. A screen they probably had on the radiator. And this contains the mouse nest. So this is going, actually I'm throwing it in the burning barrel. I'm not going to put it in the garbage. There is no rust in this trunk at all. Now, to get this lock out, oh, there's kind of a newspaper here. Eaton's back to school opportunity. I gotta get my phone. Friday, August 28th, 1964. The Edmonton Journal. Very cool. I'm gonna save this. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Very, very cool. Full of mouse droppings. Here's that part of the newspaper. Edmonton Journal. Look at that. Pretty cool. So I'm going to clean this out. And then I got to get this mechanism out. So I'll do that next. I'll do it off camera. So the Meteor is getting its first oil change in 55 years. Now I've already drained the oil. I haven't put the plug back in yet. But I just pulled the cap off of the oil filter. Check out this oil filter. What's the brand name? Crawlinator? It's super clean. I gotta drain off all this oil. Oh, it's pretty much empty. Huh. I think the oil was changed not long before it was parked. Now these old cars, the oil gets dirty very quickly. That's normal. So you could have this after a week even. This dark color of oil. Okay, so I'm gonna swap that right away with a brand new one. Okay, so I got a brand new Baldwin filter here. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but I like to use these or a Wix because they are a quality filter. Now I will say this, comparing the two, I don't know, I'd have to cut this old one apart to see how many pleats of filter are in there versus this one. But I'm going to carefully put it in a pail here. There. And the new one, yeah, that's pretty much drained there. This should just slide on like that. Whoa! There was a bit of oil in there. And now there's a gasket for here, but it's not the right size, so I'm going to reuse this one here. There. Okay. Tighten that up. You know, I probably could fill this with oil. Normally I would do that, but we're going to let the oil pressure build before the engine starts. So I'm going to go underneath, put the drain plug on, then I'm going to add oil. Okay, let's put some oil in here. 10W30 is what it calls for. I usually use synthetic. This is just non-synthetic because I'm probably gonna drain it out after I drive it a while. I mean, I won't be driving it today or anytime real soon because the brakes are shot. The pedal is frozen solid. So I'm gonna put most of this in and then check it. Let's see. I don't have a rag. So it should read a little bit over full because the filter hasn't filled up. Yeah, it's over full. So yeah, I can now turn this engine over and build up oil pressure. Let's sit back. All right, so I've got this other camera here so you folks can see the oil pressure gauge. I'm going to turn the motor over until I see oil pressure. And it's probably going to take a while. I'm going to give the starter a break. I'm going to hook up my spark tester. Here, let's get you guys to see if there's spark. So the ignition is on and I'm going to use my remote key switch here. We'll check for spark. Nothing. I just learned something about this car. I was fussing around with the points trying to get spark. It's a positive ground system. I completely forgot about that. I've never dealt with this before. So now I've got the battery wired up correctly. I had it backwards. I'm amazed the engine turned over the right direction. I don't know. I should understand this, but I don't. I have a computer engineering background and I can't figure out basic electricity. But okay, now I think I can get spark. So let's give this another try. Fuel down here. Some in there. Okay, let's give this another try. It ran, and it ran not bad. There's a big hole in the exhaust. So if you heard that popping, that's all that was. I'm shocked. It's only running on 6, but it was actually pretty smooth. Let's put some more gas in here. Try it again. One more time. Wow. The carburetor obviously needs work. I have done nothing to this carburetor, but it fired So I'm super pumped. And it doesn't sound bad. There's no knocking in the engine, nothing weird there. So, okay, I'll keep playing around some more. We'll see if we can get this thing to run smoothly. Okay, I've filled the carburetor up again with gas. Let's give this another try. Key and ignition is on. Carburetor's out of gas already. I'm not using the car's fuel tank because it's like barnacles in there. I looked. Okay, let's try again. Huh, carburetor definitely needs work, but it's runnable. I'm not sure what else I'm going to do tonight. It's going to get dark pretty quick here, but I'm pretty excited because it's running. A little bit of smoke coming out, probably burning a bit of oil, but also I'm using two-stroke in the fuel, two-stroke oil, which is good for an engine that's sat for a long time. Okay. We're getting closer, very close. Okay, I got a makeshift fuel tank hooked up. It's gonna gravity feed. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna give it a try. Just advance the idle speed here. It's only running on 6 cylinders, so it doesn't want to idle. We'll give it a half a turn. Try again. This fan belt is falling apart. It's kind of funny. But those, I think they're intake valves that are stuck because it's pushing air back up the carburetor. Let it idle for a while. That valve is clearing up. I don't know, anyway. You can hear it picking up a bit of speed. And you don't want to rev an engine that's sat this long. You can break piston rings and stuff. So you just let it idle. Try one more time. Too bad this fan belt broke. I don't want to run it any longer because the one side of the engine's going to get too hot. Mind you, some of the belt is still hanging on here. Let's see. Look at this. This is no good. For all I know, this could be an original belt. Let's cut that wire off. So I'm guessing that I still have 2 dead cylinders here, and I'm gonna have to pull the cylinder head off and fix those 2 valves that are stuck. I'm just gonna let it cool off for a bit. I have one of the fan belts. I'm not sure if it's the one that came off here. That's it for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. I enjoyed getting this car running. So look out for new episodes and more work on the car coming up. Stay tuned.